You close the tab. The screen goes black. And in that black reflection, for a split second, you see your own face. The blue light is gone. The noise is gone. The dopamine rush is already fading, and all that's left is you, sitting there, alone. There is a specific kind of silence that happens right after you indulge. It's not a peaceful silence. It's a heavy, suffocating silence. It's the sound of your own potential leaking out of you. You feel it in your chest, a hollow, sinking sensation. 5 minutes ago, you felt like a king. You felt like a conqueror. Your brain was lit up like a Christmas tree, firing signals of conquest and reproduction and power. You were the master of the universe. But now the chemical wave has crashed, and you are just a guy in a dark room, staring at a blank screen, realizing you haven't conquered anything. You haven't built anything. You haven't connected with anyone. You have been tricked. Pause. Let that sink in. You have been tricked by your own biology. This is the moment nobody talks about. We talk about the urge. We talk about the temptation. But we never talk about the immediate, crushing aftermath. That feeling of being drained, not just physically, but spiritually. It's a specific type of shame. It's not the shame of doing something wrong in a religious sense. It's the shame of knowing you were weak. It's the shame of knowing you made a promise to yourself this morning. Not today. Today I focus. And you broke it before noon. You traded your empire for a pixelated illusion. And the worst part? You know exactly what happens next. You stand up. You might go to the bathroom. You might wash your hands. You look in the mirror. And you can't quite hold eye contact with yourself, can you? There's a glazed look in your eyes. The fire is gone. That sharp, aggressive, masculine edge you need to attack your goals. It's been dulled. You feel docile. You feel safe. You feel manageable. That is the definition of a slave. A slave is manageable. A slave is docile. A slave doesn't revolt because he has been given just enough comfort to stay seated. And that is exactly what your lust dopamine is doing to you. It is the perfect control mechanism. It keeps you sedated. It takes your natural, terrifying, world-changing drive. The same drive that built civilizations. The same drive that forces men to cross oceans and build skyscrapers. And it vents it into a tissue. Gone. Wasted. This isn't about morality. I don't care about your morals. I care about your power. And right now, you are leaking power. Think about the last time you had a massive goal. You wanted to start that business. You wanted to get in shape. You sat down to work. The task was hard. It was boring. It was stressful. And suddenly, you felt that itch. That familiar, nagging pull in the back of your skull. Just a peek, the voice said. Just to relax. Just to take the edge off. You fought it for a minute. Maybe two. You tried to focus on the spreadsheet. You tried to read the book. But the itch got louder. It became a scream. It hijacked your focus until it was the only thing you could think about. The work didn't matter anymore. The goal didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the fix. So you gave in. You opened the phone. You opened the browser. You obeyed. Like a dog hearing a whistle, you obeyed. And now, afterwards, you have taken the edge off. Congratulations. You successfully removed the tension. But here is the uncomfortable truth. That tension was the only thing that was going to make you successful. That tension was your fuel. And you just poured it down the drain because you couldn't handle the heat. You think you're free because you can do what you want when you want. But if you cannot stop yourself from doing it, you are not free. You are a passenger in your own body. You are watching your hands move, watching your eyes scan, watching your time vanish, but you aren't the one driving. The chemical is driving. The dopamine hits. The dopamine demands. The dopamine collects. And you pay the price. You pay with your energy. You pay with your confidence. You walk into a room full of people and you feel lesser. You feel like everyone knows your secret. You feel like a fraud. Because deep down, your subconscious knows the truth. You are not a leader. You are not a master. You are a servant to your own impulses. You look at successful people, men who seem to have endless energy, laser focus, an aura of command, and you wonder what they have that you don't. They have their own dopamine. They kept it. They transmuted it. They used it to build reality instead of escaping it. You sold yours for 5 minutes of sensory overload and a lifetime of regret. This is the reality of the dynamic. Control your lust dopamine or be a slave to it. There is no middle ground. You are either using that energy to fuel your ascent, or that energy is using you to keep you at the bottom. And right now, looking at that blank screen, feeling that familiar emptiness, you know exactly which side of the line you're standing on. Does that hurt? Good. Pain is the only thing that wakes a slave up. It starts with a whisper. You're sitting there. Maybe it's late. Maybe it's just Tuesday afternoon and the work is hard. You're bored. You're stressed. You're feeling a little lonely. And your brain, helpful as always, offers a suggestion. Just check. Just a quick look. Just to see what's new. You tell yourself it's harmless. You tell yourself you're just curious. But your heart rate picks up a beat. You feel a sudden, sharp clarity. The boredom vanishes. The stress recedes. Because now you have a mission. Your brain has identified a target, dopamine. And the negotiation begins. This is the most dangerous part. You are the best lawyer in the world when it comes to defending your own destruction. I had a long day, you say? I deserve this. I'll just look for 5 minutes. I won't do that thing. I'll just browse. You believe your own lies. You actually believe them. You think you are making a conscious choice to relax. But you are not choosing. You are executing a script. You are a machine following a line of code written deep in your basal ganglia. Trigger, stress. Action, seek visual stimuli. Reward, temporary numbness. And you click. You open the app. You open the browser. The screen floods with light. Images. Infinite scrolling. Novelty. 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 Your eyes widen. Your pupils dilate. For a moment, the world is perfect. The problems at work? Gone. The fact that you're lonely? Gone. The anxiety about your future? Gone. You are bathed in a warm, electric bath of neurochemicals. But watch what happens next. Watch the loop tighten. You scroll. You click. You search. The first image isn't enough. It was good, but now you need something more. Something specific. Something deeper. You start hunting. You become a detective of depravity. You are searching for the perfect clip, the perfect picture. The one that will finally hit the spot. 5 minutes turns into 20. 20 turns into an hour. You are losing time. You are losing sleep. You are losing your life, 1 minute at a time. And you know, even while you're doing it, you know you shouldn't be. There is a tiny voice in the back of your head screaming, "Stop. Turn it off. Go to sleep. Do your work." But that voice is drowning. It is suffocating under the weight of the dopamine flood. You are not the captain of the ship anymore. The mutiny has succeeded. The chemicals are steering the vessel into the rocks, and you are just watching from the deck, paralyzed. And then, the inevitable happens. You finish. The loop closes. The chemicals crash. And we are back to Act 1. The shame. The silence. But here is the terrifying part. Here is the part that should make your blood run cold. You will do it again. You swear you won't. You promise yourself, right there in the dark, never again. That was the last time. I'm done with this. You mean it. You feel the conviction burning in your chest. But tomorrow, the stress will come back. The boredom will return. The trigger will fire. And the script will run again. And you will have the exact same negotiation. You will tell the exact same lies. You will feel the exact same rush. And you will feel the exact same crash. This isn't a bad habit. This is a prison cell. And you are walking in circles, pacing the floor, wearing a groove into the concrete, day after day, week after week, year after year. How many hours have you lost to this loop? How many days? If you added up every minute you spent searching, scrolling, watching, and recovering from the shame, how much of your life is gone? A year? 2 years? Think about that. You have deleted years of your life. You have traded them for nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just a flickering screen and a tired brain. This is the algorithm of a slave. A slave does not build a future. A slave repeats the past. A slave stays in the loop because the loop is safe. The loop is predictable. And the loop feels good for exactly 5 seconds before it destroys you. You are running on autopilot. You are a biological robot programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain. And until you break the code, until you smash the machine, you will never be anything else. You think you have free will? Prove it. Try to stop. Try to go a week. Try to go a month. And when the urge hits, when the sweat starts, when the rationalizations begin, see who is really in charge. Control your lust dopamine? Right now, it controls you. Here is the single most terrifying fact about your existence right now. Your brain cannot tell the difference between pixels and reality. Read that again. Your brain, that ancient, sophisticated piece of biological hardware evolved over millions of years, is stupid. It is easily fooled. When you are deep in the binge, when you are scrolling through endless novelty, watching scenes of high-status mating opportunities, your brain is firing the exact same victory signals it would fire if you were actually conquering the world. To your biology, you are the ultimate alpha. You are Genghis Khan. You are a tribal warlord with a harem of hundreds. You have access to the most beautiful, fertile mates in the village. You are successful. You are powerful. You are genetically superior. Your brain pumps you full of satisfaction chemicals because it thinks you have won the game of life. It thinks you have secured your lineage. It thinks you have done the hard work of becoming a man worthy of these options. But look around the room. Look at your hands. Look at the empty pizza box. Look at the unwashed laundry. Look at the bank account that hasn't moved in 3 months. You aren't a warlord. You aren't a king. You are alone, in a dark room, smelling like stale air and regret. This is the great biological hack, and it is destroying you. You are hijacking your own reward system. You are hot-wiring the engine of your ambition to feel the speed without ever moving the car. Think about why ambition exists. Why does a man want to build a business? Why does he want to get ripped? Why does he want to be charismatic? He does it to get the reward. He does it to feel that sense of conquest, to feel worthy, to attract high-quality mates. But you have found a backdoor. You have found a cheat code. You get the reward, the chemical feeling of "I made it," without doing a single minute of the suffering required to actually make it. Why would you go to the gym for 2 hours and lift heavy iron until your muscles scream, just to maybe, possibly, get a look from a girl in 6 months, when you can open a tab and see 20 naked women in 6 seconds? Why would you grind on a side hustle for 3 years, risking failure and humiliation, to build status, when you can trick your brain into feeling high status right now for free? Your brain is efficient. It chooses the path of least resistance. And you have given it a path with zero resistance and infinite reward. So your ambition dies. Of course it dies. Why wouldn't it? Your brain thinks you've already made it to the mountaintop. It thinks you're already the king. It shuts down the drive to hunt because it thinks the belly is full. You wonder why you have no motivation. You wonder why you can't focus. You wonder why you feel meh about your goals. It's because you are chemically castrating your own drive. You are telling your subconscious every single day, we won. We have the women. We have the status. Relax. And so you relax. You drift. You stagnate. Meanwhile, the real world, the cold, hard, physical world where you actually live, is leaving you behind. Real men are building real things. They are facing real rejection. They are building real strength. They are dealing with the silence, the loneliness, the pain of growth. And you are sitting there, pressing a button, flooding your brain with unearned glory, wondering why your life feels so empty when your brain feels so full. This is the tragic comedy of your life. You are a biological lottery winner in your head and a loser in reality. The gap between those two things, the gap between the king in your mind and the slave in your chair, is where your depression lives. That anxiety you feel, that's your soul screaming at you. That's the part of you that knows the truth, trying to wake you up from the matrix. You are feeding yourself a hallucination of success. And every time you indulge, every time you click, you make the hallucination stronger and the reality weaker. You are training yourself to be a spectator in your own life. You are getting the trophy without running the race. And deep down, you know it's plastic. You know it's fake. You can lie to the world. You can lie to your friends. But you cannot lie to the mirror. When the screen goes dark, the king dies. And the slave remains. Let me tell you a horror story about a rat. In the 1950s, scientists ran an experiment. They put a male rat in a cage with a female in heat. The rat, driven by instinct, did exactly what you'd expect. He mated. Again, and again, and again. He went until he physically couldn't move. He was exhausted, spent. If the female nudged him, he ignored her. He had zero interest. His biological drive was completely satisfied. Then, the scientists did something cruel. They removed the female, and they dropped in a new female. Suddenly, the exhausted rat wasn't exhausted anymore. He jumped up. He was instantly revitalized. He had near infinite energy again. He mated with the new female until he collapsed. Then they dropped in a third one. Boom. Back up. This is called the Coolidge effect. And here is the terrifying part. You are that rat. Your bedroom is the cage. Your phone is the scientist dropping in new females. You think you have a high sex drive? You don't. You have a novelty drive. Your brain is not wired to be satisfied. It is wired to spread your genetic material to as many different partners as possible. In nature, this mechanism was limited by reality. You lived in a tribe. You might meet 50 eligible women in your entire lifetime. The new female didn't show up every 5 seconds. But now you hold a device in your hand that gives you access to an infinite line of new females. You scroll, swipe, click. Every single image is a new potential mate to your caveman brain. Every video is a new opportunity. And your brain dumps dopamine, not to make you happy, but to make you pursue. Dopamine is not the molecule of pleasure. It is the molecule of more. It is the chemical that says, get that, chase that, do it again. And because the internet is infinite, the more never ends. You can burn through more novelty in 20 minutes on a Tuesday night than your ancestors experienced in 20 years. This is why you can't stop scrolling. This is why you watch things you don't even really like. You're not looking for quality. You're looking for the new. You are the rat twitching in the cage, waiting for the scientist to drop the next hit. And the cost? The cost is that you destroy your baseline. Because your brain creates tolerance. Just like a drug addict needs more heroin to feel the same high, you need more extreme novelty to feel the same arousal. Remember when a simple picture was enough? Remember when a glimpse of a catalog was exciting? Not anymore. Now you need 4K video. You need specific acts. You need harder, faster, louder, weirder. You find yourself watching categories that would have disgusted you 5 years ago. You find yourself clicking on things that don't even align with your values. Why? Are you a deviant? No. You are desensitized. You have fried your receptors. You have flooded your system with so much superstimulus that normal life, real, slow, intimate, awkward, beautiful real life, feels boring. A real partner cannot compete with the internet. A real partner has flaws. A real partner requires conversation. A real partner doesn't change into a different person every 15 seconds. So when you finally get a real opportunity, you can't perform. Or you're bored. Or you're anxious. Because your brain is screaming. Where is the variety? Where is the 100-tab browser? Where is the perfection? You are training yourself to be impotent in the real world so you can be a god in the digital one. The algorithm knows this. The websites know this. They are engineered to exploit the Coolidge effect. They are designed to keep the rat in the cage. They want you to keep clicking, keep searching, keep pumping that dopamine until you are a hollow shell. And it's working. You are fighting millions of years of evolutionary programming with a frontal lobe that is tired from a long day at work. It is not a fair fight. It is a slaughter. Every time you open that private tab, you are stepping into the ring with a heavyweight champion designed to knock you out. And until you understand the mechanism, until you realize you are being played by your own biology, you will never get up off the mat. You are not horny. You are being hacked. Stop lying to yourself. Right now, stop. You tell yourself it's just a high sex drive. You tell yourself you're just a red-blooded man. You tell yourself it's a biological necessity, like eating or sleeping. Wrong. If it were about sex drive, you would be out there hunting. You would be improving your appearance. You would be learning how to talk to people. You would be risking rejection to get the real thing. High testosterone makes men aggressive in the real world. It makes them build. It makes them conquer. But you're not conquering anything. You're hiding in a room with the curtains drawn. This isn't about sex. This is about pain management. This is the hardest pill you will ever have to swallow. Your lust is an anesthetic. Think about when you do it. Really think about the specific moments the urge hits you the hardest. Is it when you're crushing it at work? Is it when you just had a great workout? Is it when you're surrounded by friends laughing and having a good time? No. It hits you when you're stressed. It hits you when you're bored. It hits you when you feel lonely. It hits you when you realize you're behind on your bills, or your career is stalled, or you feel like a failure compared to your peers. That feeling, that low-level hum of anxiety in your chest, that is the trigger. You feel bad about your life. You feel small. You feel weak. And that feeling is uncomfortable. It's sharp. It demands attention. So what do? You reach for the pacifier. That is exactly what this is. It is an adult pacifier. Just like a baby cries because it's hungry or scared, and the parent shoves a piece of rubber in its mouth to shut it up. You shove dopamine into your brain to shut up your soul. You use lust to numb the sting of being average. You use the rush of the hunt on the screen to forget that you aren't hunting in real life. You use the visual of the perfect woman to forget that you currently don't have the skills or the status to attract her. It is the perfect drug. It's free. It's instant. And for 20 minutes, it makes you forget that you hate your job. It makes you forget that your apartment is messy. It makes you forget that you are lonely. But here is the tragedy. Pain is useful. Pain is a signal. When you put your hand on a hot stove, the pain tells you to move your hand. If you took a powerful painkiller before touching the stove, you would leave your hand there and let it burn to the bone. That is what you are doing to your life. Your loneliness is a signal telling you to go out and build social skills. Your financial stress is a signal telling you to work harder or smarter. Your boredom is a signal telling you to find a mission. But every time those signals flash danger, every time the alarm bells ring, you sedate yourself. You flood the system with pleasure. You mute the alarm. And because you mute the alarm, you never put out the fire. You stay in the dead-end job because you can numb the frustration at night. You stay single because you can simulate intimacy on a screen. You stay out of shape because you can get the dopamine hit without the workout. You are using pleasure to tolerate a life you should be changing. You are making your cage comfortable, and that is why you are stuck. You wonder why you've been in the same place for 3 years? It's because you haven't felt the pain necessary to move you. You haven't let the fire burn you enough to make you jump. Every time it gets hot, you take the drug. You are medicating your own potential into a coma. So the next time you feel the urge, ask yourself, what am I trying not to feel right now? Am I sad? Am I anxious? Am I ashamed? Don't look at the screen. Look at the feeling. Because that feeling is the truth. And the screen is the lie you use to cover it up. You aren't horny. You're just hurting. And you're too much of a coward to let it hurt. Enough to change you. Let's talk about the harem in your pocket. Unlock your phone. Open Instagram. Open TikTok. Open X. What do you see? Within 3 swipes, you see a woman. She is beautiful. She is fit. She is posing in a way that is scientifically engineered to trigger your mating instinct. She is looking directly into the camera, directly into your eyes. Your brain registers this as contact. Your brain registers this as opportunity. You stop scrolling. You hover. You watch the loop. Maybe you click the profile. Maybe you scroll down to see more. You think this is harmless. You think this is just checking social media. Wrong. You are microdosing lust. You are freebasing validation to women who do not know you exist. This is the digital harem. In the ancient world, only the most powerful men, emperors, sultans, kings, had access to a harem. To see 50 beautiful women naked or dancing required you to conquer nations. It required armies. It required absolute, undeniable power. You are sitting on a toilet break at a job you hate, and you have access to more naked flesh than Genghis Khan saw in his entire lifetime. And you think this comes without a cost? You think you can flood your visual cortex with the top 0.1% of genetic perfection, filtered, edited, surgically enhanced, lighting perfected, and then go back to your normal life without a scratch. This is how you destroy your reality. You are training your brain to expect the impossible. You look at these screens, and you see skin with no texture. You see wastes that defy anatomy. You see faces that have been smoothed by algorithms to hit the exact mathematical ratios of attraction. These aren't women. They are superstimuli. They are hyperreality. And then you put the phone away. You walk out into the real world. You see a real woman. She has pores. She has a blemish. She isn't wearing ring light makeup. She is wearing sweatpants, not lingerie. And you feel disappointed. You feel a lack of arousal. You feel meh. Because you have spent hours staring at the sun, and now a candle looks dark. This is the porn-induced erectile dysfunction of the soul. It's not just about your ability to get hard. It's about your ability to care. You are becoming numb to real human beings because they cannot compete with the digital fantasy. And the apps know this. They aren't social networks. They are dopamine slot machines. Every time you pull down to refresh, you are pulling the lever. Will you get a meme? Will you get news? Or will you get the jackpot? The girl, the body, the thirst trap? The algorithm watches you. It measures exactly how many milliseconds you pause on that bikini photo. It learns. Oh, he likes blondes? Here are 50 more. Oh, he likes that specific angle? Here is a limitless feed of it. You are being farmed. Your attention is the product. Your lust is the currency. And the women? They are capitalizing on your weakness. They are building empires on your inability to look away. Every view, every like, every comment you leave is a deposit into their bank account and a withdrawal from yours. You are the peasant throwing coins at the queen, hoping she'll look at you. She won't. She doesn't care about you. You are a statistic. You are a reach metric. You are a pixel on her analytics dashboard. But to you, to your reptilian brain, she is a mate. She is a conquest. This is the ultimate humiliation. You are bonding with pixels. You are forming parasocial relationships with JPGs. You know their names. You know their dog's name. You know what they ate for breakfast. And they don't even know you are alive. You are giving away your masculine attention, the most valuable resource you have, for free. You are spraying it across the internet like a fire hose, drenching these platforms in your energy and keeping none of it for yourself. Imagine if you took every second you spent staring at Instagram models and put it into your own body. Imagine if you took that focus and put it into your bank account. You would be the one people looked at. But instead, you are the watcher, the observer, the consumer. You are the guy in the audience, clapping for the performers, while your own stage sits empty and dark. The digital harem is a lie. It promises you abundance, but it leaves you starving. It promises you connection, but it leaves you isolated. Close the app. Delete the account if you have to. Because as long as you have the harem in your pocket, you will never build the kingdom in your life. You walk into a room. You see a woman. She is attractive. And immediately, your posture changes. Your voice goes up an octave. You smile too much. You laugh too hard at her jokes. You become helpful. Over-helpful. You offer to buy the drink. You offer to carry the bag. You offer your time, your energy, and your dignity on a silver platter before she has even asked for your name. You think you are being nice. You think you are being a gentleman. Wrong. You are being a beggar. This is the simp economy, and you are the primary investor. Here is the brutal mechanics of why this happens. When you are addicted to lust dopamine, you are constantly in a state of depletion. Your brain is screaming for the hit. And when you see a woman in real life, a potential source of that hit, your brain panics. It sees a resource. It sees the drug dealer. And just like a junkie willing to sell his watch for a fix, you are willing to sell your self-respect for a crumb of female attention. You over-pursue because you are starving. A man who is in control of his lust, he is full. He doesn't need anything from her. He can stand there, look her in the eye, and if she isn't interested, he walks away. He doesn't care. He has his own energy. He has his own mission. He is the prize. But you? You are terrified of losing the opportunity. So you negotiate from a position of weakness. You double text when she doesn't reply. You apologize when you didn't do anything wrong. You agree with her opinions even when you think they are stupid. You become a chameleon, changing your colors to whatever you think she wants, just to keep the interaction alive. You are signaling, loudly and clearly, I am low status. I am desperate. Please validate me. And women can smell it. They can smell the desperation on you like cheap cologne. It repulses them. Evolution has wired women to seek competent, controlled, powerful men. Men who can say no. Men who have standards. When you simp, when you put her on a pedestal, you are telling her, you are above me. And she will believe you. She will look down on you. Because you looked up at her first. Now let's talk about the literal economy. How much money have you spent trying to buy this feeling? Maybe it's the dinner dates with women who clearly aren't into you. Maybe it's the subscriptions, the OnlyFans, the Twitch donations, the tipping cam girls. Think about the insanity of that transaction. You are taking the money you traded your life hours to earn, money you sweated for, stressed for, bled for, and you are sending it to a woman who is looking at a screen, reading your username, saying, thanks, user 123, and then forgetting you exist 2 seconds later. You are paying for the illusion of acknowledgement. You are funding her lifestyle while yours stagnates. She is traveling. She is buying clothes. She is living her best life. On your dime. And what do you get? A momentary spike of dopamine. A fleeting sense that she noticed me. And then, empty pockets. Empty soul. You are a financial tributary flowing into someone else's river. This is the definition of a beta provider in the digital age. You aren't even providing for a family. You aren't providing for a wife. You are providing for a stranger who sees you as an ATM with a pulse. Every time you give money or attention without receiving value in return, you are voting for your own enslavement. You are telling the world, my resources are worth less than her image. Stop paying the simp tax. Stop validating women who haven't earned it. Stop giving away your attention like it's worthless confetti. Your attention is gold. It is finite. It is powerful. When you pull back, when you stop the scrolling, stop the paying, stop the begging, you suddenly become dangerous. You become a mystery. You become a challenge. The moment you stop needing them is the moment they start wondering about you. But as long as you are hooked on the dopamine, as long as you are the rat pressing the lever, you will always be the one chasing. You will always be the one paying. And you will never be the one they actually want. Let's talk about your bank account. Let's talk about that business idea you've had for 2 years. Let's talk about the promotion you keep getting passed over for. Let's talk about why you feel like you're walking through mud every time you try to do deep work. You think your lust and your career are 2 different buckets. You think what you do in the dark at 11 p.m. has 0 effect on what you do in the office at 9 a.m. Wrong. They are the same fuel tank. Napoleon Hill called it sexual transmutation. He studied the most successful men in America, Ford, Edison, Rockefeller. He found one common denominator. They didn't waste their sexual energy. They channeled it. They took that raw, aggressive, conqueror energy and they turned it into steel, oil, and railroads. You take that same energy, that same potential for greatness, and you flush it down the toilet. Literally. Every time you indulge in cheap dopamine, you are paying a focus tax. You sit down to work the next morning. You open the laptop. You try to write the code. You try to write the copy. You try to make the sales calls. But your brain is foggy. It feels like cotton wool. You can't hold a complex thought for more than 30 seconds. You find yourself staring out the window. You find yourself checking email every 2 minutes. You have zero attack. Why? Because you are biologically satisfied. Your brain thinks you just reproduced with 20 supermodels. From an evolutionary standpoint, your job is done. You won. Why would you need to go out and hunt a mammoth? Why would you need to build a shelter? You're the king. Rest, king. So you have no drive. You have no edge. You are docile. And while you are sitting there in a dopamine coma, someone else is eating your lunch. There is a man out there right now who is hungry. He hasn't released in weeks. He is vibrating with energy. He is aggressive. He is sharp. He walks into a room and people feel him. When he sits down to work, he doesn't get distracted. He attacks the task with a level of ferocity that you can't even imagine. He is building the business you wanted. He is getting the clients you wanted. He is making the money you wanted. Why? Because he kept his fuel, and you spilled yours. You are trying to win a Formula One race with an empty tank. You are wondering why the car won't go faster, smashing the pedal, blaming the engine, blaming the track. I just have ADHD, you say? I just have brain fog, you say? I'm just burnt out, you say? No. You are drained. You are sexually sedated. Think about the most aggressive, successful periods of your life. I bet you anything they were periods of high tension. Periods where you didn't have everything you wanted. That tension made you move. That tension made you wake up early. Cheap dopamine kills tension. It is the great neutralizer. And in business, in life, in the gym, tension is the only thing that creates growth. Muscles only grow under tension. Bank accounts only grow under the tension of solving hard problems. If you remove the tension, you remove the growth. You are choosing comfort over conquest. You are choosing a fleeting sensation over a lasting legacy. And the cost is exponential. It's not just one bad day of work. It's the compound interest of mediocrity. 10 years of brain fog means 10 years of missed opportunities. It means 10 years of staying at the same level while the hungry wolves run past you. You look at the guy with the mansion, the guy with the freedom, and you think he got lucky. He didn't get lucky. He got focused. He took the same biological drive you have, the same fire, and he used it to weld his reality together. You used yours to heat up a cold room for 5 minutes. And now you're cold again. And poor. This is the trade. Every single time. You are trading your empire for a moment. You are trading your future for a pixel. So the next time you feel the urge, look at your bank account. Look at your unfinished projects. Look at the life you say you want. And ask yourself, can I afford to pay the tax today? Because the tax collector is at the door, and he takes everything. We have spent the last 20 minutes talking about biology. We have talked about algorithms. We have talked about society. We have talked about the modern world. And right now, a little part of you feels relieved. See, you think, it's not my fault. It's the dopamine. It's the companies. It's evolution. I'm just a victim of a system designed to enslave me. Wrong. Sit up straight. Look at me. You are not a victim. You are a collaborator. There is no gun to your head. Mark Zuckerberg is not standing in your bedroom forcing you to unlock your phone. The algorithm cannot move your thumb. The porn site cannot type its own URL. You do that. You. Every single time. You are the one who makes the decision to be weak. You are the one who feels the tension, the holy, necessary fire of your own potential, and decides, I don't want to carry this. It's too heavy. I want to put it down. You are the traitor in your own castle. You are the gatekeeper who sees the invading army of distraction approaching, sees the enemy that wants to burn your ambition to the ground. And you don't just open the gates. You lay out the red carpet. You invite them in. You pour them a drink. Why? because you are soft, because you would rather feel good for 5 minutes than be great for a lifetime, because you are terrified of your own power. If you actually kept that energy, if you actually sat with that aggression, that hunger, that loneliness, you would have to do something with it. You would have to build. You would have to speak. You would have to lead. You would have to face the possibility of failure. And that scares you. So you sabotage yourself. You cut your own Achilles tendon right before the race starts, so you have an excuse to lose. I'm just tired. I just have brain fog. I'm just addicted. Cowardice disguised as biology. You are looking for a diagnosis to explain why you are failing, when the diagnosis is staring you in the face. You lack discipline. You are betraying your future self every single day. Imagine him. Imagine the man you could be in 5 years. The man who built the business. The man who got the body. The man who has a woman who looks at him with genuine, burning desire because he is a force of nature. That man is watching you right now. He is watching you reach for the phone. He is watching you unzip. He is watching you trade his existence for a pixelated fantasy. And he despises you. He is screaming at you through the timeline. Don't do it. I'm dying here. Every time you click that button, you kill me a little more. But you don't listen. You smother him. You choose the dopamine. You choose the numbness. You choose to remain a child in a man's body. This is the ultimate form of self-hatred. You claim you want to be successful. You claim you want respect. But your actions scream that you hate yourself. You treat your mind like a garbage dump. You treat your energy like it's worthless. You treat your time like it's infinite. It isn't infinite. You are going to die one day. And on that day, you will look back at the thousands of hours you spent in this loop. You will see the mountain of potential you wasted. You will see the empire you didn't build. And you will realize that nobody took it from you. The government didn't take it. The economy didn't take it. You gave it away. You traded your birthright for a bowl of soup. So stop blaming the system. The system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Filter out the weak. It is a test. And right now, you are failing. You are the problem. You are the obstacle. You are the enemy. And until you look in the mirror and admit that, until you admit, I am doing this to myself, you will never stop. You can install all the blockers you want. You can throw your phone in the ocean. But unless you kill the traitor in your heart, unless you decide that you are worth more than a cheap thrill, you will always find a way back to the cage. Admit it. Say it out loud. I am the problem. Good. Now we can fix it. Here is your choice. It is binary. There is no third option. Option A. You stay in the loop. You close this video. You feel a momentary pang of guilt, maybe a spark of motivation. But tonight, when the house is quiet, when the stress returns, when the boredom creeps in, you will go back to the cage. You will click. You will watch. You will release. And tomorrow, you will wake up a little bit weaker, a little bit softer, a little bit more invisible. Fast forward 10 years. You are sitting in the same chair, in the same apartment, working the same job you hate. You are alone. Your eyes are dull. Your skin is gray. You have no stories of conquest. You have no legacy. You have consumed terabytes of content, but you have created nothing. You are an old man with the habits of a teenager, still chasing a digital ghost that never loved you back. Does that picture disgust you? It should. It is the picture of a man rotting while he is still alive. Or, option B, you choose the fire. This is the path of sexual transmutation. This is the secret that every great man in history knew. Freud knew it. Napoleon Hill knew it. Tesla knew it. Mike Tyson knew it. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred. That urge you feel, That burning, itching, desperate need to release. That is not a demon. That is raw, nuclear fuel. That is the life force itself. It is the energy that creates galaxies. It is the energy that creates life. And for your entire life, you have been venting it into a tissue. Stop venting the steam. Let the pressure build. Yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it will feel like you are going crazy. You will feel aggressive. You will feel restless. You will feel like you want to punch a wall. Good. That is the engine starting. Sit with that feeling. Don't run from it. Don't numb it. Look at it. Feel the heat rising in your chest. And then, turn the wheel. Point that aggression at the barbell. Point that restlessness at your business plan. Point that desire at a real woman. Go talk to her. Risk the rejection, feel the fear, and do it anyway. When you refuse to click, when you refuse to release, that energy has to go somewhere. It will search for an exit. Give it a new exit. Make it build your body. Make it build your bank account. Make it build your confidence. Suddenly, the brain fog vanishes. Suddenly, you have laser focus. Suddenly, you have a presence that people can feel when you walk into a room. You are vibrating with held potential. You are dangerous because you are disciplined. This is the only way to become the king. A king is not a man who has no desires. A king is a man who has harnessed his desires and put a saddle on the beast. He rides the beast. The beast does not ride him. So here is the test. Tonight, or tomorrow, whenever the urge hits you, and it will hit you, your brain will say, just one peek. Your body will scream, I need this. The darkness will offer you the pacifier. In that moment, you will stand at the edge of the cliff. One path leads down to the comfort, the shame, the slavery, the slow death of your ambition. The other path leads up, through the pain, through the fire, to the throne. You have spent enough of your life on your knees. You have given enough of your power to pixels. You have been the slave for long enough. It is time to break the chain. Close the tabs. Delete the apps. Block the sites. Burn the boats. And the next time you feel the fire, don't put it out. Use it. Let it burn you into the man you were supposed to be. Control your lust dopamine, or be a slave to it. The choice is yours, and you are making it right now.